Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Dr.
Afternoon,
Raju,
sir.
science class,
Good afternoon.
history for you people. Chapter number one, nationalism in Europe, rise of nationalism in Europe. So far, we discussed the main concepts, okay, of nationalism. Okay, today we want to start with a new topic that is liberalism, the emergence of new middle class and liberalism in Europe, basically in France. Clear? Emergence of new middle class. So already we had seen that the European society that is or that was divided into three categories, right? What are those categories? Clergy, nobility, and the third estate, right? These were the divisions. Clear or not? Yes or no? Okay, so first of all, we want to understand one thing: the clergy and the nobility. Okay, they enjoyed lots of privileges. Clear? Okay, by birth, by birth, lots of privileges. Okay, they don't want to pay the taxes. The same time, they are collecting taxes from the third estate. Clear or not? Basically, the people from the clergy and the nobility. Clear? So, in this connection, we want to understand one thing. In middle of the 18th century, almost near 1750, 1750. Okay, one particular revolution. It's not a bloodshed one. Okay, that started in Europe. Basically speaking, so that started from England. That is the industrial revolution. Industrial revolution. So tell me, what is industrial revolution? Any idea? Vishnupriya, what is this industrial revolution? We studied in the junior classes about the industrial revolution. Tell me, any idea about industrial revolution?
Industry
Industries.
workers,
Ah,
they are revolting, something like that.
so around 1750, okay, almost the middle of the 18th century, what happened? That is not a bloodshed revolution. I already told you that. It said it is basically a time that the industrial revolution. Human hands in the industries were replaced by machines. Clear? Clear or not? Replaced by machines. So, what are the effect of that change? An idea or that revolution?
Unemployment.
What is that?
And people are unemployed.
Yeah, number of people they engaged in the industrial production, correct? And the products or production improved or increased. Production doubled, basically we can say that the production of the goods that doubled because of the industrial revolution. As a result of the industrial revolution, a new group of people emerged in Europe. Okay, a new group of people termed as the new middle class. Who are they? The new middle class people. Basically they are from the third estate, the new middle class. They are rich. Okay, clear or not? They participated in the trade and commerce, industrial production. They earn money, they earn the money, and they become rich. Clear? Understand? So the new middle class, basically they are against the privileges that enjoyed by the clergy and nobility. Okay, the new middle class, they are against the privileges that enjoyed by the clergy and nobility. Okay, they are the people, they set up the Jacobin clubs, right? Ashik Pateri, it is history. Okay, just completed the lunch. So your soul will escape, right? So remember. Okay, so listen carefully. The new middle class, the new middle class, they are against the clergy and the nobility, and they are the people. They set up a number of what Jacobin clubs. Jacobin clubs. Tell me, what is this Jacobin club? Already we
Club
discussed.
of innovative thinkers.
Definitely. The Club of Thinkers. Club of Thinkers. Anne Mary, Lolita, Melvin Martin, Haya Abid. Okay. Aditya, M. Savio, Surya, Vishnu. Please turn on your cameras. Okay. So they are the people. Okay. So they started number of the Jacobin clubs, the Club of Thinkers. They inspired by the writings or the philosophies of Rousseau, Montesquieu, Voltaire, right? Yes or no? Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Voltaire. So This club of thinkers basically give importance for the idea of liberalism. What is that? Liberalism. Then what is liberalism? What is liberalism? You know that. Tell me, what is liberalism?
among the people.
Only Ashik is saying the answers there. Other students, they are not interested to give the answers. Even though you know the answer, you are not telling that. Why? What is the reason behind that? Or else I want to call your names, then only you will just start speak. Okay, tell me Aditya. Aditya Dev. Aditya Dev. Sorry. Adidev, not Aditya Dev, Adidev. Sorry for that mistake. Aditya is a little bit confused there. Okay, Adidev, tell me. What is liberalism? What is that? Adidev? Hmm? No idea about that. Aditya M. The simple concept is that, right? Liberalism related with this French Revolution. We studied that. The slogan of the French Revolution, what is that? Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Then tell me, what is this liberalism? Huh? It is something related
Freedom.
with the liberty. Johannes, Anne-Marie, Afsana, Haya, Abid, Savio, Nirupama. Okay, tell me, what is that? So already we know that. Okay, the French
Freedom.
Revolution. The people, yeah, tell me, Vishnupriya.
Freedom. Equalism.
Freedom, fine. So they want what type of government? They want a democratical type of government, liberal democratical type of government. They don't want a despotism. So the new middle class people, they don't want a despotism or rule of the king or the queen there. Okay, so that's what we are going to discuss here. The aristocracy and the new middle class. Aristocracy and the new middle class. Okay, the fight between the ruling people, I mean the monarch, and the new middle class emerged after the mid 18th century, after 1750, due to or related with what is that? The industrial revolution. Industrial revolution. Here it is. Socially and politically, a landed aristocracy was the dominant class. They are the important class, important group of people on the continent. Which continent? Europe, right? Europe. So we are studying about Europe. So the landed aristocracy, they are the dominant class on the continent. So we know that the division here. Okay, the third estate, second estate. Okay, the clergy, nobility, and the third estate. First, second, third. So this group, the first and second group, the clergy and nobility, they are at the top. They are privileged class. They are the dominant people. They are landed aristocracy, land owning group of people. Okay, under their custody, number of estates are there, townhouses are there for them, right? So we already discussed that. They spoke French for the purpose of diplomacy and in the high society. So all these ruling class people, they are connected. Even though they are ruling different kingdoms, their families are connected through marriage alliances. Clear? Is that clear or not? Okay, so almost all the different areas of France or sorry, Europe is under their control. Okay, coming to page number 9, you can see in the western and parts of Central Europe, the growth of industrial production and trade meant the growth of towns and the emergence of commercial classes whose existence was based on production for the market. So new middle class emerged, right? Their development is related with the industrial revolution, the new middle class. Okay, basically they are from the third estate. They become rich and educated due to this industrial revolution. Okay, so you can see here, industrialization began in England in the second half of the 18th century, but in France and the parts of German states, it occurred only during the 19th century. 19th century. Please note that. So industrial revolution that first started in where? Where it started actually? In England. England. Clear? Okay. So France and the parts of German states industrial revolution, that's in 19th century. 19th century. In its wake, new social groups came into being. A working class population, underline that. So the result of the industrial revolution, right here, what were the results of the industrial revolution? Okay, or how industrialization helped the emergence of the new middle class in Europe. Okay, what is that the question? What is the question? How the industrialization helped the emergence of a new middle class. Write down how the industrialization helped the emergence of a new middle class new middle class in Europe, Europe. Okay, so Industrial Revolution started
Sir, can you
almost
repeat the
the
question?
second half of the 18th century, basically that connected with the England, and industrialization started in France and Germany in the 19th century. 19th century. Please note that. Okay, so this
Sir,
industrialization
can
led to
you
the
repeat
emergence
the
of,
question?
hello, Savio.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, how industrialization helped the emergence of new middle class in Europe. New middle class in Europe. Okay, new middle class in Europe. Okay, so write that question. The answer is here already marked in the textbook. Okay, just mark in the textbook. Please do that. Don't skip. In its wake, new social groups came into being. A working class population and a middle class made up of industrialists, underline. So, because of industrialization, a new group of people emerged, a working class population, and middle class made up of industrialists, businessmen, professionals. In Central and Eastern Europe, these groups were smaller in number till late 19th century. It was among the educated, liberal middle classes that ideas of national unity following the abolition of aristocratic privileges gained popularity. So this new middle class people, okay, it's a combination of what we can say, the business class people, traders, okay, and other professionals are there in that group. Okay, comparing with other groups of people, these educated people, their number is less in that society, even though they are, or they tried to do something against the landed aristocracy, okay, or the rich class, I mean the clergy and the nobility, clear or not, and they spread this idea among the poor people or illiterates in France or in Europe. Clear or not? Okay. So the movement got momentum due to the educated middle class people, or the educated middle class people are the people behind the movement. Okay, behind that movement against the privileges that enjoyed by the clergy and nobility. Clergy and nobility. Who are they? The newly emerged middle class. Middle class. They are educated and even the same time they are rich too. Okay, so that is because of the emergence of middle class is related with what is that? What is that? Industrial? No answers.
Industrial Revolution.
Industrial revolution. Okay. So next important question for we people, did that directly from the textbook. What did liberal nationalism stand for? Liberal nationalism. Liberal nationalism. Okay. So connected with the French Revolution, we already studied the aim of the French Revolution. It is liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay. So number of cameras are again off here. See, let's start screen sharing. You will hide. Why it is so?
Sir, can you say the question one more time?
Wait a minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Aditya, John Samuel, Lolita, Meghna Pradeep, Hadi Amin, Arjun, Aman Shakir, Afsana, Melvin Martin. I only told you that. Okay. Please cooperate. Afsana, Melvin, Vishnu Vivi, Savio, Savio.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Turn on your camera. Vishnu,
Yes,
also
sir.
turn on your camera, please. Okay, so liberalism. So here, a liberal nationalism. The word is liberal nationalism. The question is in the textbook. Okay, what did liberal nationalism stand for? What did the liberal nationalism stands for? Okay, so this newly emerged middle class, I already told you that they are against. They are against what? The privileges that enjoying by or enjoyed by the clergy and nobility. Clergy and nobility. Clear? So basically, this new middle class are termed as the liberals. The liberals. What is that? The liberals. Liberals. Okay. And the ruling class or the monarch, okay, or the aristocrats or the nobles, basically they're known as the conservatives. What is that? Conservatives. Okay, conservatives. Clear. So here is a conflict between, or a fight between these conservatives and the liberals. Conservatives and the liberals. Conservatives, they want the traditional rule of the king. Okay, clear or not? Conservatives, basically they want the traditional rule of the king They are accepting the clergy and nobility and their privileges They are supporting basically the clergy and nobility. But the people from or people, they are basically believing in liberalism. They are against the autocratic rule or the rule of the monarch. They want a democratical government. Okay, government on the basis of democracy and adult suffrage. Clear? Right to vote, political right. They want constitution for the country. Clear or not? They want a new constitution for the country. So that people are termed as here already that the liberals. Okay, so there are two words. One is liberals, other is conservatives. Liberals are the people basically. They want what kind of government? An idea? Just now I told that. What is that? Xavier.
Democratic.
Democratic government. Okay, what about conservatives? No idea. They are the supporters of the king's rule. Okay, so come back to the textbook here. You can see ideas of national unity in early 19th century Europe were closely allied to the ideology of liberalism. Clear? So almost all the different revolutions, unifications, that all connected with this idea. What is that? Liberalism. Last year you studied about the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and rise and fall of Nazism in Germany, right? All connected with this idea of liberalism, right? Almost all these revolutions, okay, connected with the idea of liberalism. So the term liberalism derives from the Latin root liber. Underline the word is what? What is the word here? Liber. Okay, the meaning of the term liber, it is free. Okay, one mark answer, free. For the new middle classes, liberalism stood for freedom for the individual and equality of all before the law. Underline that. So for the new middle class, liberalism, the word that stood for freedom for the individual and equality of all before the law. Clear? But the French society, the feudal French society, is against that. Okay, only the clergy and the nobility, they enjoyed the privileges. Clear or not? There is no equality existed in that society, the French society. Okay, that third estate people, they forced to pay different types of taxes to the monarchy. I mean, the government and the church. Clear? So the people face a lot of problems. So the liberals, they want a government. What kind of government? A democratic government. At the same time, they want equality before law, a egalitarian society. Okay, egalitarian society where there is no privileges for any particular classes. All are equal. No special privileges. Clear? Is that clear or not? Okay, so that's what a liberalism. Please underline that. Okay, so it emphasizes the concept of government by consent. Underline. Next, government by consent. What do you mean by that? Democratic setup. Okay, clear on. We are electing our own representatives. That representatives will form the government, and that representatives are creating or making rules and regulations for us. Clear? And we are following that. So our representatives, our government. Clear? Underline that too. Okay, what is that? Concept of government. What concept of government? The government by consent. Government by consent. Okay, so this is the question for that particular answer. The first paragraph. What did liberal nationalism stand for? Liberal nationalism stand for. Please write that one. Okay, underline it. Since the French Revolution, liberalism had stood for the end of autocracy and privileges. Clear? Clerical privileges that enjoyed by the clergy and nobility, a constitution and a representative government through parliament. And they want one more thing. What is that? A constitution and a representative government through parliament. Clear? Parliament. So already we studied that. What is that? In France. Okay, first democratic government and a constitutional monarchy. Clear? Directors rule. Okay, the rule of Maximilian Robespierre, reign of terror. Studied that last year. Remembering that? Yes. Finally, who is that? Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so the rule or a government or administrative method that transfer from one particular setup to the other. Okay, they experienced almost all the different types of administration or governments. Okay, so come here. First of all, we discussed about the meaning of the term liberty is free. Okay, the people, those who believing in liberalism, they want freedom for individual. And what kind of society? Egalitarian society. Okay, equality of all before the law. Okay, and they give importance for government by consent. Clear? Okay, and they are against the privileges that are enjoyed by clergy and nobility. Clergy and nobility. At the same time, they need a constitution and a representative government through parliament. Okay, so 19th century liberals also stressed the importance of the private property. Okay, so they are ready or they are against, sorry, not ready, they are against property rights that enjoyed only by the clergy and nobility. But here they are giving importance for right to property for everyone in that country, right to property. Clear? So I can give 1 minute for you people to please read that answer. Any doubt means you can ask me now fast. Okay. Just 1 minute, 1 minute. So the question I already told you that what did the liberal nationalism stand for? Okay, liberal nationalism stand for what is the meaning of the term liber? Okay, what are the demands of the liberals? All are important here. So this is important question for the board examination also. Okay, what does the liberal nationalism stand for? Liberal nationalism stands for. Completed that. Savio, Niribama.
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. Just give me a moment. The chapter. Back to the chapter. Okay, so now we want to learn how these liberals treated the other people in the society, like the poor people and the women. Okay, so yet equality before the law did not necessarily stand for universal suffrage. Okay, what do you understand? Sorry, what is the meaning of the term suffrage? Any idea?
Voting rights.
A right to vote, a right to vote. So in political science, we studied that it's a political right. A right to vote is a political right. Okay, clear. So we are using the term universal adult suffrage. What is that, Savio? What is universal adult suffrage?
All
Huh?
people have right to vote.
Pardon?
All people have right to vote.
All people have the right to vote. Adults, right? The Indian context, those who complete the age of 18 is considering as an adult, right? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So he or she is able to enjoy this right to vote, universal adult suffrage. In different countries, the age limit is different. So please note down that. Okay, don't think that in each and every country the age limit is 18. It's not like that. It's different age limits are there. Okay, so here, yet equality before the law did not necessarily stand for universal suffrage, which means the liberals are not ready to provide the right to vote for whom? Women. Clear? Okay, so you will recall that the revolutionary France, which marked the first political experiment in liberal democracy. So the French Revolution that inspired the entire world to think about democratical government on the basis of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Clear? Clear or not? But they faced a problem. There was a challenge. What is that? Which marked the first political experiment in the liberal democracy. The right to vote and and to get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men. Clear? Okay, not for everyone, but for whom? Okay, they only can participate in election. They only have the power to cast their vote. Only the property owning men, the landed people. Okay, clear or not? Clear or not? Which means the rich people, right? Men without property and all women are excluded from political rights. There is no political rights for females. There is no political rights for the poor people. Is that clear? Either clear? So Ashik Pateri is totally distressed. What happened? Ashik,
Nothing, sir.
yeah. His eyes are red. Hmm? Eyes are red. It is drooping down. Okay. So guys, 1 minute.